Hey guys, Kurt from Time Machine Transport. So my wife had sent me a Facebook message on those two cops, or the cops for the George Floyd thing. So I'm gonna show you something on her phone. It's right here, the article. But I'm gonna read to you guys, and then we'll go into this video. So, sorry, my freaking neck is just killing me today. Oh my God. Let me see if I can balance this phone here. All right, the Floyd event was stage event. These officers were involved with something. I'm not sure exactly what, but something is just not adding up. I think there is at the very least, the possibility that this was a filmed public execution of a black man, a white cop, with the purpose of creating racial tensions and driving a wedge in the growing group of anti-deep state sentiment from the common people that have already been psychologically traumatized by COVID-19 fears. And when my wife had told me about this, I did 3 videos so far on this, and YouTube has taken all 3 of them down because of the content. So I told my wife yesterday when I was looking at some videos about the cop, I noticed that his badge was crooked. And I tried to zoom in and take a screenshot of it, but it just was too blurry. I noticed that the cop's badge was crooked, like I said. All right, so historically in election years and in politically contested areas or in groups, racial or gun violence incidents are becoming commonplace. Considering the rising approval rating of President Trump in the black community, an event like this was unfortunately predictable. Consider these points in contrast them to every other police brutality incident you've ever seen. The film portion of the incident was about 10 minutes long. In that amount of time, 3 officers are holding one handcuffed man down. You only know that because of the pictures taken from across the street. You can't see the other 2 officers in the video because they are behind the vehicle. During 8 minutes of the entire video, the officer has his knee on George Floyd's neck, which is not taught or approved by any law enforcement agency. When I was watching the videos yesterday on my video, I put that the cop's knee was on George Floyd's neck, but his right knee was on the ground. So by doing that, you can apply or increase pressure on George Floyd's neck. So I'm wondering, like I said, this is a staged event. On the previous video to this, Roy Potter had said that George Floyd and the cop that had his knee on George Floyd's neck, there's more reports coming out that they actually worked together as security guards for either some gym or some club. Also, when the news went and interviewed the cops' neighbors, none of them said that all of them said that they didn't even know he was a police officer after 19 years. I mean, we have police officers that live in our complex, and we know that obviously they wear uniforms. So how do you not know what your neighbor does, especially after 19 years? So if he lived in the same place or whatever the case may be. Also, he had 12 misconduct situations against him for misconduct, but then I've also heard that it was up to 18. So I don't know. Anyways, I'll continue to read. Additionally, other than the Asian officer speaking occasionally to the crowd of bystanders, there is no communication from any of the officers. Mr. Floyd, no talking, no shouting. When have you ever seen a police brutality video without police shouting? Additionally, the police had no goal. They weren't trying to subdue him or arrest him. He was already handcuffed, and all they needed to do was place him in the back of the car. There is no plausible explanation for taking him to the ground and having 3 men on top of a handcuffed man, a knee placed on his neck. Mr. Floyd presented no threat and was not resisting. The only goal that there appeared to be was exactly what happened: to be filmed brutally killing a black man. Think about this. These officers did not care about being filmed, and that was also in my video that they took down. Let's see. These officers did not care about being filmed. In fact, the officer stared into the camera with soulless eyes and an emotionless face, reminiscent of the assassin reminiscent of an assassin, as he knowingly killed an American citizen. None of these officers spoke among themselves, or did they speak to Mr. Floyd. They did not respond to his pleas for life. They just sat and kneeled on him until he was passed out, and then waited an additional 4 minutes after Mr. Floyd lost consciousness to ensure that Mr. Floyd was dead and could not be revived. The bystanders are verbally communicating to the officers that he isn't breathing. Unlike any other similar incident, you never see the officers getting on police radios. You never see or hear them calling dispatch for backup. No other police units arrive on the scene, and strangely enough, the crowd does not seem to grow either. The scene does not end until an ambulance arrives and they unceremoniously flop him on a gurney. At no point does anyone in a uniform ever check his vitals, as if they aren't remotely curious about the situation they are in, by the way. Who called the ambulance and for what reason? Because if the reason was that Mr. Floyd was having a medical issue, they wouldn't have still been crushing his neck. Shortly after the video went viral, a fake Facebook page supposedly belonging to the officer at the center of the murder appears, and pictures are uploaded and say, "Stand your ground," and Trump 2020. Oh my God, sorry. I'm sweating. A picture of the cop with a red ball cap that says "Make America White Again." A friends list populated with obvious sock accounts and people clearly not his friends. This is the same kind. I'm trying to read this with this neck brace on it, like almost choking me. Sorry, guys. This is the same kind of fake Facebook stunt that happened with a group made to look like support for the man involved with. There are some typos in here. With a group made to look like support for the men involved with the Ahmaud Arbery case. Is it mere coincidence that this happens the week after race becomes a major political issue after the Biden "you ain't black" gap started to threaten the black vote the Democrats so desperately count on? Additionally, there is a substantial video evidence to arrest at least one officer now. Why would the local authorities not charge him immediately? Unless there was a political advantage not to. Is it mere coincidence that this happens right about the exact moment the COVID-19 fear campaign falls apart, and after it has psychologically traumatized the entire country and gotten everybody at each other's throats, and suicide attempts are spiking? Is it mere coincidence that this happens after the Ahmaud Arbery case, which somehow eluded the mainstream media completely until 2 whole months after he was killed? When has that ever happened? Timing issue? Is it mere coincidence that the Supreme Race Baiter Obama was making videos a couple weeks ago connecting COVID with systemic racism? Finally, this entire scene plays out with the cop car and a license plate that says "police." I noticed that as well. I did on the video. I thought that was kind of odd. It said "police." I don't recall ever seeing a police car that had a license plate that said "police" on it. I mean, I'll have to look at Minnesota's protocol for that. So I'll read that again. Finally, this entire scene plays out with the cop car and a license plate that says "police." The plate was perfectly framed for maximum subliminal impact. This also means he was literally just 1 foot away from the back seat of the police car, and these cops thought it was smarter to kill a black man on camera than to pick him up and move him 1 foot into the back of the squad car. That's also what I said. Oh shoot, you guys just see my neck brace in this thing. Let's see. You can draw your own conclusions, but this appears to have the earmarks of George Soros. Please open your eyes. Thanks to Chris Tanner for photo and research, please. And this is the those. When I looked at the badge on the one, I noticed it was crooked. And they're saying that these badges are fake, I guess. So let's watch this video. I'm going to make it short. My neck is just killing me. And then we'll do one more video after this. So this guy is all in black. He has an umbrella, which I don't get the umbrella unless that's a signal to other cops. Don't arrest the guy with the umbrella. I mean, it's not raining. It's just weird. He's got an umbrella. So this is a quick video. I'll play it twice. Here you go.
I ain't got part of that shit. Dude. Oh, I zoomed in. I'll zoom out a little bit. Those cops will come for you if you're pulling that crap. I ain't got part of that shit. Dude. Oh, I zoomed in. I'll zoom out a little bit. Those cops will come for you if you're pulling that crap.
Why would the guy have an umbrella? That just doesn't make any sense. It's got to be a signal to somebody or other cops saying, don't arrest the guy with the umbrella. Just very strange. And then this one here, this is pretty sad. This lady is trying to block people at Target from taking stuff out of the store. And they're shouting, she's got a knife, but she doesn't pull the knife until this lady tries to choke her out. I'll play this twice as well.
Move!
And right where this lady right here, I mean, that's just crazy, man. She's an elderly lady in a wheelchair. And they're all cheering about it. What is wrong with these animals, man? People should be ashamed of themselves.
Move! Move!
That's crazy.
Move!
No, not until the lady, the black chick tried choking her out. Watch. She didn't do anything until she just tried to block people from stealing. And then that lady tries to choke her out. She grabbed her by the neck and she tried choking her out. She didn't just push her.
Get out of here!
That's crazy. Anyways, I hope this video finds you guys well. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Ciao.